until the referee say paro. He didn't say paro, bro. Keep fighting, man. Keep fighting. Until the man up there says, fine. You have to keep fighting, man. You have to keep fighting.
Let's start with your story. You know, how did you start this? How did you, at what age did you start Jiu-Jitsu, and what drove you to continue it up until this moment?
Yeah, I started Jiu-Jitsu when I was 16 years old, back in Petrópolis, in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I was the kind of guy who used to I always liked sports. My mom used to run marathons and my father used to play football. I don't remember seeing them competing, but I saw medals and trophies at home. I grew up with that. And I used to watch the Olympic Games and the World Cup back in Brazil. And then it was just it was a huge moment for me. I used to love to watch the Olympics. And the moment that was always very important for me was the podium, when they receive the medal ceremonies, you know, So then I started okay, so one day I would like to be on the podium, to get the medals as well, you know, Football in Brazil, you don't even need to go to school, you know, you play football. It's the first gift that you received when you were a kid, you know, So I went a couple of times, on Saturdays. The practice was on Saturdays. One day, the coach just called my mom and say, Bruno don't have to come anymore. So apparently I was not good at it. That's what I understood. So I attended a couple of Kung Fu classes, but then there was no competition. There was some guys teaching capoeira for free and stuff. Still no competition. Until one time, I found this Aikido school. And then I did Aikido for about 2 years. I learned a lot of Jiu-Jitsu fundamentals in Aikido, you know, So hip scape, sit scape, technical stand-up, forward roll, all this kind of stuff. Kimura Americana, I learned all from Aikido. And I used to love Aikido until the coach disappeared. One day we went to class and he never showed up anymore. Until today, I have no idea what happened. And he used to talk so many bad things about Jiu-Jitsu. The Jiu-Jitsu back then didn't have the Japanese traditions, you know, so we were more we are too cool. And then the guys, of course, back then they were too violent, you know, Then I have this image of Jiu-Jitsu in my head that, I don't want to do that, you know, I don't want to get close to Jiu-Jitsu guys. They always beating someone up, you know, I think about a year without doing anything, a Jiu-Jitsu gym opened in the same building where I was training Aikido. So I used to deal with bullying a lot in Brazil, in school. So I was too skinny. I was 40 kilo, 43 kilo, and I used to get beat up a lot in school. And I never seen as bullying. Of course, back then there was no bullying, you know, you just get beat up, and if you don't like it, so what? You know, and my mom used to tell me, if you get beat up in the street, don't come back crying, you know, because I'm gonna beat you up at home too. So I just have to take it in school, and that's it, you know, my mom could never know. So the problem with bullying is that whenever someone bullies you and you cannot fight back, you either shy away, or you go crazy, or you start bullying someone weaker than you, which is what I did, you know. So there was some smaller kids that we used to hang out. Whenever I had the opportunity, I used to smack them in the head, you know, I kick their butt, knowing that I couldn't fight at all. So if the boy is he fight back, then I probably would have to run away. So then the guy told me come to my gym, then I'll teach you something. I was like, what do you mean? So yeah, I'm gonna beat you up as well. I said, okay, I'll go to your gym. So then when I went to this gym, man, first thing I saw was medals and trophies on the wall. And I was like, wow. So I didn't know it was Jiu-Jitsu at that time. I thought it was Judo. Honestly, a lot of people, they start Jiu-Jitsu because they say, oh, I saw Royce Gracie, I want to be like Royce Gracie. Oh, I trained Jiu-Jitsu because I went to this gym and I got beat up. And I was like, no, I want to be able to do that to someone else. For me, it was not the case. It's just the medals. And that was my dream of the Olympic podium, you know. So I had so much fun. Of course I got smashed. And then because I had all the fundamentals that I learned from Aikido, the coach thought I trained before. And I was like, no, I never done this before. I did Aikido. So then I went to my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm doing this judo, you know, because if I tell her that I'm doing jiu-jitsu, there's no way they should pay for it. And then that's how I started. I asked her as a birthday gift, like to let me train judo at that time. So then I kept coming. Within 2 weeks, I joined my first competition, you know. So I lost. The guy, he took me down with a Ippon Suranagi and straight to armbar. That's how I lost. But there was only 2 guys in the bracket, so it's just me and the other guy. So then they called the podium. They called my name, second place, Bruno Barbosa. I was just like, bro, what do you mean podium? I'm in the podium and I receive a medal, you know, like. I said, my dream came true within 2 weeks. Okay, I'm gonna go do more, you know, like. And then I grabbed this medal, which I have until today. That was November 1999. And I still have that medal. Man, I was like, nah, I want more. I was taking this medal everywhere I was going, you know, like. So my mom's like, okay, the weekend we're going to grandma's house. I take the medal with me, show everybody, you know, like, oh, I got second place in Jiu-Jitsu, I got second place in Jiu-Jitsu. My third competition, I got a gold medal. It's just like, because I was too skinny, and I used to fight like sometimes like bigger guys, or 1 division above. So this time, this guy, I was fighting a yellow belt, and then all I did was lock him in the close guard and try cross choke for 4 or 5 minutes, I don't remember. And then, because just both of us, it's final, boom, gold medal. It's the cheapest medal I have in my collections, but that was my first gold medal, you know. And that's it, now I'm a champion, and I'm just like, wow. So just, we're gonna keep doing it. Of course, there was like a lot of up and downs, you know, like times that I want to quit. My parents divorced, I couldn't afford membership anymore. And then the coach came, he's like, you don't have to pay, you just clean the mat. If you clean the mat, you can train. And then later on, it was like, clean the mat, teach kids, and then clean the mat, teach kids, and teach women's class. So, and that's how I came about with Jiu-Jitsu, you know, I was always like doing Jiu-Jitsu. I can tell you the timeline of my life based on the belts. So it's easy to follow. So I was 19 years old, purple belt, so I had to get a job. So I started working in a supermarket, and then I had to leave the team that I was training because we didn't have a morning class. And my shift in the supermarket was like from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. So then we decided to, okay, we start morning class ourselves. So get a bunch of the guys who come in the morning, and then we all train. It's not a class, it's just for us to train. So yeah, the first day there was like 3 guys, and then the second day there was like nobody, you know, and then 1 guy came next, and then I just like, oh, man, I'm purple belt. So I kind of like already have an idea of what I want. So, and I feel like, okay, this is not gonna work. So I have to leave because there are other gyms, they have morning classes. So again, I spoke to my professor. We didn't have an office in the gym, so we have this conversation in the toilet, you know, like, I still remember that. We talked, because it was very, I mean, inside the place where I come from, everything was like very humble, you know, like, and that's what we had. The mats, if you smack the mat like that, the dust, 1 kilo of dust come up, you know, like. But that's where I used to train, you know, like, it's the best place for us at that time. So we won so many stuff. And I remember that my professor used to tell us, like, because I was 16, sometimes behaving like a kid many times. And I like to joke a lot. So I've been like, this is me. So many times I used to be scolded by the coach, like saying, Jiu-Jitsu is not for you guys, you know, like, Jiu-Jitsu is for the rich people. So if you guys want to do this, you better be serious about it. So then sometimes we have to realize that, like, oh, that's true, you know. And then we had the social conflict sometimes, because we go to tournaments, and then we see the guys who can afford a nice gi, more than 1 gi. Because when I started, I had to wear whatever gi is available. But that gi was worn by whoever came in the earlier classes, or maybe who came the previous day. And I don't remember. We don't remember last time the gi got cleaned up, you know. And everything was fine. Nobody complained. Nobody cared. At least I had something to wear. So that's how I grew up. So whenever we go to tournaments and we see that someone was dressing nicer, so it's almost like we are looking for something to motivate ourselves to beat those guys. It's like, bro, no way I'm gonna lose to that guy. He's soft. He has pink skin. And of course, bro, sometimes we go even like back at that time, you can't even be racist. You know, like, no, they are white, we're black, you gotta beat them up. So, but it's mostly like rich and poor. You know, like, or maybe not rich, just the guy having a better life than I have. But we were conditioned to, bro, look at the gym where we train. The first gym I started, there was not even a window. If it rains, the rains flood half of the mat, so you only had another half to train. And that became, that was our normal. We knew this is the way it is, and this is what we have. So for us, everything was a reason for us to beat everybody else. So the motivation was that big. So when I moved to another gym, now I'm training with people that I used to find something to be against them. You know, like, and those were the people that helped me the most until like I made a name for myself, you know, like. So then you realize that everything that you were doing is because I was conditioned to it, to think the way I used to think, because the place I came from, oh, I have no money, the guy has money, therefore I have to be better than him. He's a bad guy. Or maybe I don't have what I want to have because of that guy, because he's rich and he has everything. So we used to see this and used to think like that, you know, like, right or wrong, that's the way it happened, until I see the other side. And then they were like some of the nicest people, you know. Like. And then now I'm working in the supermarket and I'm training in the morning, hardcore sessions, pretty much like twice a week, Tuesday, Thursday morning. And then after session, I have to go to the gym, I have to go to work, supermarket from 2 to 11, 2 p.m. to 11 p.m., unload trucks of fruits and vegetables, you know, like, so pack of potato, 50 kilo, onions, bags, like 25 kilo. I still remember everything. But we're talking about, okay, so we have to unload a big truck full of potato bags, and each bag weighs 50 kilo, and I'm 57, 58. So then the guy wanted to fire me because he said, you cannot take this job. You're too small for it. So one of the guys, he saw that I put a lot of effort, and then he said, no, I'm responsible for Bruno, so I'm gonna make sure he does the work. So then he helped me to stay because I was about to get fired because of how weak I was. So I was able to stay and for like many years, you know. And then at the same time, I was doing jiu-jitsu on the side and competing still, until I even got the supermarket to sponsor me, you know. Because every day I come either injured or tired, or I bring a medal, I show them, and I talk a lot about jiu-jitsu like non-stop, you know. Like, until one day the guy's like, oh, never mind, so we sponsor you. But the sponsor just like, okay, so it's a day off to go and compete, you know. That was the sponsorship, you know. My first sponsor ever was the guy that used to have a restaurant near the gym, and then he knew that we come from school to the gym and we were hungry, so he gave us leftovers, you know. So he's about to close the restaurant, so he used to give us some curry puffs with like chicken, beef, or whatever, and a cup of juice. So the juices in Brazil, you go to some places where they sell juice, like cheap juice. So there's a bit of, it's an orange juice, pure squeezed orange juice, 10 liters of water, and 2 kilos of sugar. So then they keep that thing running the whole day, you know. Like, so when then we got there, the guy didn't sell. So whatever he didn't sell, he gave it to us. And then we eat. So one day we wrote like with a marker pen, pit stop, lunch. That's the name of the restaurant. So we wrote by hand, you know, like, and they put on our gis. We just grab a piece of cloth, we torn a t-shirt, we cut, then we wrote down, and then we asked someone to stitch on our gis, you know. Like, that was our first ever sponsor, you know. So just because the guy give like cold leftovers to eat before the class, you know, like, it was pretty cool.
Like, did you guys develop your own mindset to be this kind of like, the thing that motivates you? Did you develop that from young, or did your coach have a play in this?
The coach had a play in this because he's the one that reminded us that we were kids, we were behaving like kids in a sport that was not made for us. It was for the high society. And if we really want to be part of it, we had to be good. You know, so there was we didn't come up with that. Because for us, everything was fun. Until he says, like, look at the shoes you're wearing. And look at the guy's shoes. And I'm just like, shit. The guy came, his father drove him here. He took 3 buses to be here. And then, you know, like, this is started to feel like, okay. And then you start to become, I mean, in your mind, you start to develop something else. You know, like, you see, like, Michael Highlander, right? Bro, he came here, Michael Highlander. So we were talking, we had like maybe a 30-minute conversation. When he spoke to me about his life, bro, I had tears in my eyes because it reminded me of where I came from. And he had much worse. Even though he's like way younger than I am, he had tougher time than I had. And then that reminded me that back then, we used to have the same mentality as he has nowadays, that he look at you and it's like, I'm gonna fly on by you. And I don't care who you are, but I know that I don't wanna go back where I came from, empty-handed. I can't. So when I even wrote on my Instagram that conversation was very powerful for me because he brought back something that I thought I forgot. That's the reason why I started. And I mean, I started because of the medals, but then it became like, if I become good at this, I can change my life. With or without the medal, there will be a way to change my life through it. Maybe I'll be in a magazine, someone will see me, they want to sponsor me, then I'll have a salary, and then it start like, okay, so no, I'm gonna get this. But for me to get those things, I have to beat people up. I have to win stuff. I cannot just talk about it. I have to be about it. I have to live that. And then it just kept growing and you keep taking this to the next stage, the next stage, the next stage, you know. And you see nowadays, you look back, you meet those guys like Michael Highlander, and you see that there are people that are still going through that. Things that I went through are much worse. So talking to these people, like, we don't see those things as hard. We just do things, you know, like, and we don't think, because if you think and start to, oh, this is hard, let me sit down. Shut up, you're gonna be there. People are gonna crush you. You know, like, that's why sometimes I see when people are like, oh, I don't wanna drive 20 minutes, it's too far. I was like, what the hell are we talking about? There was 2 guys that went to a competition in Brazil, and then there was like a very heavy rain, it flooded the whole town. These guys were there to compete. You know what they did? They put their bag on their head with the gi. Bro, the water is on their chest. This guy, they walk to the venue to compete. They could have just said, there's no way out, we cannot go. You know, like, what the hell are you talking about? Driving, you're driving with the aircon, you know, like, in your own car, with a cup of coffee right there next to you, listen to a nice music, and then you don't want to drive 20 minutes, you don't want to drive 10 minutes because it's far. So then you're going to meet those guys. Can you imagine what they're going to do to you? You know, like, you're going to fight this kind of people. They are ready to beat whoever is standing in front of them. And then sometimes it's not about technique anymore. It's about, I want more than you want. And that's it, man. That's all I need, you know. Like, you can do drill, you can do ecological jiu-jitsu, you can do whatever. You can train in any place. If you meet the guy across the mat that wants more than you, he'll do everything. You don't know what this guy's been through. Maybe he's hungry, maybe he never ate, maybe he never had breakfast. And he said, the reason I don't have breakfast is because of you. So I'm gonna smash you today. Whatever, if you do ecological jiu-jitsu, specific sparring, no gi only, I'm this and that, I don't like this gi is soft. Shut up. I'm gonna beat you. You become my highlight. So that's how it used to be. And sometimes I see that a lot of people come from tough places. If they carry on this mentality and they don't settle down to the victim mentality, they can do big things in life. But you have to carry on that with you, but without hurting people. because there will be a lot of good people that doesn't come from the same background as you come from. It's happened to me. All the rich guys in the gym that I went to, those are the ones that helped me out. Silent sponsor. Many times my professor came to me and said, oh, you're gonna go to this competition. Someone already paid. Who? I don't know. I had one job, to train. And then when my professor tells me, oh, there's this competition next week, you're going. Your name is already there. I was like, okay. Like a soldier, you know. Like, yeah, just tell me. Just point in the direction I go.
Is it tough for you to still wake up to do all of this? You know, like having this kind of mindset at that age?
Yeah, it is hard. It is hard. The problem is like when you start thinking so much of how hard it is, then it's almost like you start loading bricks on the bag that you carry in your back. You know, like every time you start thinking how hard it is, it's gonna get heavier because you always giving yourself you start giving yourself an option. You start looking for things that you can do that will put you out of that thing, the main thing you have to do. So I didn't always have this mindset. And many times, honestly speaking, there was a time that I lost everything, like the mindset, you know, like, and then I became a coward because it was like, I started seeing people that, I think because I deal with so many losses in competition, that I was never like a big champion, you know, like when it comes, not many like gold medals. Maybe I win 1, lose 5, and then I win. So I was always with that. So maybe like losing affected me, and then I kind of like shy, and I shrink myself a little bit because okay, maybe I'm never going to be a big champion. You know, oh, it's okay to lose. Oh, it's okay to lose again. And then many times when I go to the competition, before I get to the competition, I was already rehearsing the excuse in my head. I didn't even fight yet, and I'm already thinking what I'm going to say when I lose. So it's easy to talk about victories, you know, like when you win and everybody see you as a champion. But some people, they don't have the opportunity to win right away for a long time. For some people, they're going to win later on if they stick to it. So I think you just have to be surrounded by the people that will keep encouraging you to keep doing this. And then eventually, something will click. But I just cannot tell you when and how it's going to happen. What I know is for sure, it's going to help you somehow, regardless if it's going to be with or without a gold medal. I cannot promise you the gold medal. I promise you I will be with you. There will be a hard work. But if you're going to win or not, that's another story. So I think I learned this a lot. And then in 2014, I was teaching a class. And then one guy came to me and said, how come you always talk about the fights that you lost? I was like, because I didn't win anything yet. So then all I can say, all my experience comes from fights that I lost. And then somehow I keep like, okay, so I lost, but then I did this. I lost, but there was something good about it. So then I kept using my shit, man. I only talk about fights that I lost because this is all I have. Because I lost so much. And then the victories that I got, like when it comes, like, I mean, gold medals, it was so little that I can never tell you much about it because I won 1, lost 5. So what do I know about winning? You know, I know more about losing and then that I kept coming. So then I can talk about that. I'm good at that. Talking about what losing can do to you, you know, like how it can affect you on good and bad side. Then you just have to make a choice. Never compete again. I lost to the same guy twice in a 30 days time in 10 seconds. Exactly the same way. The guy who used to sponsor me, he told my professor, oh, we don't want anything to Bruno anymore because he's too playful. And I'm fighting for real. I'm not joking. But I fought someone that we slap hands, and when I sit down, the guy pushed my leg and I'm back. 10 seconds I tap. Okay, never mind. Go back, train, go to the same competition, to the competition next month. It was like within 30 days, same guy. And I pull guard, he pushed my leg, I'm back. Again, 10 seconds again. So what the hell is happening? Now I'm scared to compete. I don't want to compete anymore. What if I lose another fight like that again? What if this guy put the name in the bracket? I still remember his name. to this day, never see him again. Looks like he just came to teach me a lesson. And I still remember his name. His name is Bruno Barbosa. And I'm just like, I don't want to see this guy. I think if I read his name in the bracket, I'm going to run away. I developed this fear that is like, what if Bruno Barbosa is in the fight, is in the bracket? What am I going to do? What if he beat me by 10-0 again, in 10 seconds again? And I don't want to see that again. I don't want to feel like that again. So I decided not to compete anymore. But I don't know, something, or maybe the people, I don't remember exactly, the guys in the team, they motivated me to compete, to keep competing, and then I kept going, and I kept losing, and win some, lose a lot, come back again, you know. I think because there was always like, I was always reading a lot, and then all those interviews, and then there was always these guys just talking about how things change because they didn't give up. It's almost like, you know, like when you have a bottle of Coca-Cola and then you try to open, you try, it didn't work, and then you give someone else, but you're losing up. Then you give someone else, this guy will try again, but then you, poof, open. So that means, like, see, if I try to be harder, maybe I would have opened the bottle, you know, like, so maybe, okay, the next chance, maybe the next pump. Oh, it didn't work this time, but next will work. What if I keep trying? So then I decided to believe that one day something has to happen. Something will happen. I don't know what's going to happen, when, but I know that I won't be the same. Look at my life. What do I have? What if I can do something big? What if I can, I don't know, maybe travel one day, become so good, get so much experience that one day I can teach out of Brazil, change my life and my family's life, you know, like, be different. So I think that's what kept me going, thinking that something's going to change one day. I lost today, but what if I can't win the next competition? Or I lose again. Okay, maybe the next one, or maybe the next one. Because the same thing doing training. So I trained today, couldn't pass the guard, but what if I try again tomorrow? Couldn't pass the guard. What if I try again the next day? Couldn't pass the guard. I'm going to quit now? No, I have to keep trying. So if I take this concept, take this idea to a competition mat, that's how I became world champion.
How did you go from that mindset of like, oh man, I'm so bad at this, like, you know, I'm going to get smashed, to now like, oh, instead of looking I'm going to lose, now I'm going to try. Like, was it an easy transition to go from I'm going to try mindset? Like, because I feel like most people these days, it's hard for them to even try. So like, how do you, if you have to give an advice on this transition of like, not looking at the outcome, but just doing the thing, you know, and trusting the process, like how would you advise people to try?
I really believe that it has to do mostly with what you think about people, or what you think of how people think about you. So that means it's about the people that are in your surroundings, you know, like who you surround with, like what kind of people hang out with you, what do they tell you, you know, what are they teaching you, what are they supporting you, you know, like what kind of talk do they have with you when you don't do so well, you know, like, and then you always thinking that you're not good enough. You don't have to be good enough. Well, how good is good enough? So you don't have the correct perspective, the right perspective on how good it is to be good. You just like, maybe you make the wrong comparison. Maybe you are 40 years old as I am, and then you are comparing yourself with Mika Galvão, who's 21 and who won everything. Why do I have to be like Mika Galvão at 40 years old? So I'm looking at the wrong guy. I should be looking at the guy who's 45, who's 48, who's on the same mat as I am, and he keeps doing it. Maybe I should look at the girl that comes, even though she's smaller than the other guys, she still go and roll and keep trying again and again and again. These are the people that should motivate you, not the people on Instagram, or not the people on TV or magazine, you know, like on those doing those flying ambas and highlights. It's the people next to you, you know, like. So if you have someone that is guiding you, and then he never tell you that you can do whatever you were trying to do, maybe not in the highest level, but maybe you can do, okay, so we start from here, and let's see how far we can go. But don't worry, winning or losing, I'm still with you, you know, like. So I think the work as a coach is to instill confidence in you, because most of the time you think like, oh, I don't want to disappoint my team. Who's talking about you disappointing your team? You were a father, you were a mother, you have so many things that you have to worry about, and you still find time to put your name in a competition. In which moment you think that you losing a jiu-jitsu amateur competition would disappoint someone? And then, but you need to have someone that reinforce that on you, because that's how you're feeling, and sometimes I just ignore you, or I just keep putting pressure on you, like everybody has to win, everybody has to be a gold medalist, everybody has to be a killer, everybody has to be anything, bro. I want to do for myself. You don't go, when you go there, you don't compete for me. I compete for myself. When you go there, do it for yourself. When you're losing, you're still going to have dinner together. On Monday, you're still going to have to go to work. You are your own champion, you're right. But if you have nobody around you that inspires you to do that, if nobody around you that shows you that even though you lose, you come back here, bro, we're still going to hug you. Shut up. You're just surrounded by the wrong group of people. That for them, just the gold medal is the only thing that matters. Bro, if that's the only people that you have around you, I'm sorry, you have to question yourself, the kind of friendship that you have. So then you start developing this kind of, when you get a gold medal, you come here, everybody goes to you. The guy who lost, nobody talk to him. This guy don't want to compete anymore because he feels like he will never be able to get people to come and praise him and come and, hey, bro, well done, man. That is just, some people, they have strong mindset. Some people, they don't have. And you as a coach, you have to be able to communicate with both these people. If you can only talk to one, you're failing. You know, like, so you can help people with jiu-jitsu, you know, like, and the gold medal should never be the goal. The gold medal should never be the end goal, you know, like. So people, they will give up. There's so much pressure. The society is always like expecting something from you, and you always think that you are disappointing someone, you know, like, you're not. You're not. Even yourself. I mean, you'll be disappointed of yourself because you decided not to compete because of you worry about someone else to think about you. But nobody goes and pays your bills, you know, like. So just try. Find a place where there are people that would be happy when you try. Just try and see how you can do, you know. Like. It's my responsibility. It's definitely my responsibility since I chose to do this. You know, like, my goal is to not, my job is to not just teach techniques, you know, like, because as I was saying, I have people that train with me, and then all they're learning is, if you see them rolling on the mat, they're really bad. Oh, how long have you been training? And that's the only thing you can do. But you have no idea how much that person has improved in life. He's not shy anymore, or less shy. You're gonna roll with them, you're gonna smash them. It can be blue, it can be purple belt, whatever. They cannot fight. It's not in them, but they keep coming. They're gonna get smashed happily, but they come to me and say, I'm not shy anymore. I talked to my boss. I didn't like the way I was treated in my job, and I was able to talk about that. I got a promotion in my work, thanks to the struggle that I go in jiu-jitsu. So it's not about technique. It's not about me making you a fighter, making you tough. And there was times that I used to think of only one way. It's a martial art. You have to be tough, no questions asked. But when I realized that the effect of this, how this affect your life outside the mat, it's beyond just fighting, you know. So I am responsible for that, because sometimes people come here, their life is miserable, you know. And then if I am the kind of person that makes their life worse, so what am I doing? You know, I like to joke around that with the black belt comes a package of, so now you're a doctor, nutritionist, strength and conditioning coach, psychologist, father, you know, like babysitter. You are a bit of everything, because people, they will come to you with their life sometimes destroyed. But even though you don't bring that upon yourself, by the way you interact with them, by the one encouraging word that you share to these people, they start seeing you as someone that can help them. And honestly, if you take this opportunity to really share good stuff to them, you can better this person's life regardless of how they're going to perform on the mat. So that's why it's our responsibility, you know. Like, even though sometimes people say, no, all I gotta do is to just go there, teach technique, and leave. I can't do that because that was never done to me. So I only know how to teach one way. So if I was encouraged, if I had some motivational words shared with me in the past, and then I know where I am today is because of what happened to me in the past. So I think I should do the same thing to others, you know. So, and I blame myself for if I'm not able to help someone else, you know, because I'm with you every day. We talk every day. How come I cannot help you out? I'm not asking you to come and ask me for help. I will never come to you without you asking. Sorry, I'll never come to you without you asking me for anything. My life is not perfect though, and I need help too. But sometimes because of, even though my life is not doing so well, and you come seeking my help, the word I share with you can help me on the other way, you know. Like,
why do you care so much? Like in a sense of like how did you develop this care? Like, was it only from your coach or was it from an experience? You know, how did you develop this empathy? Yeah.
I think it's because someone cared for me before, and I remember how much that was important for me, you know. Because if I didn't do things all for myself, by myself, you know. Like, so there was times that I wanted to quit, and then there was someone that said, "Don't, you know, like, you can do this, not now. Go a little further, push a bit more, one more minute, one more round." So I had people that just like, try again, one more time. So why should I keep all of that for myself? You know, like, and if you learn something that changed your life, share it. Pass forward. Why would you go to the graveyard with that? You know, it's like saving money and not spending. You have such a valuable things that change your life. Why won't you try to help someone else? You know, like, and some people, they ignore the fact that because we have such a close contact to so many people, even though you don't plan to help people, they see that you can help them by an encouraging word. Man, I have seen like so many people dealing with so many stuff, so much, and then Jiu-Jitsu help them somehow. And if I was a bad guy, if I was the kind of guy that didn't care, maybe this person would have laughed and go somewhere else and train somewhere else, you know, and maybe look for someone. And maybe if they cannot find someone, they can just like, hey, do one more round. Hey, try again, no problem. It's okay, today was not a good day, but maybe tomorrow can be a better day. And then you get these people that come and say, oh, if it wasn't for you, I would have quit. And then it's not like, oh, thank you. I don't have to take credit for anything because everything that you do is because you are doing it. And all I did was just like, do one more round. You can just say, no, I don't want to do it, period. So that's fine. But just the fact that you listen to what I said, you did, and it worked. Nice, it's you, you know, like, it's not me. I'm just there doing my job, I believe. Yesterday I was talking to a friend who came from the same place that I came from. And then he told me like, oh, sorry, I just came from Madrid. Bro, coming from where we come from, this is unrealistic. What do you mean you just came from Madrid? We are like favela kids, you know, like they barely could afford a bus ticket. We walked 1 hour to go to the gym to train, walk 1 hour with a heavy bag to go to the gym to train. There's no snack, there's no pre-workout, there's no whey protein, there's no protein bar. Whatever you ate at 6 a.m., that bread with butter and coffee, that's why you're gonna have until 12 o'clock. You're gonna have lunch when you go to the supermarket, because when I go to the supermarket, they give you money for transportation, like for the bus ticket, right? So they know how much I spend on bus ticket to go from my house to the supermarket to work. So they give me exactly the amount. So how can I go to the gym now? So I have to walk 1 hour in the morning, train. When I'm gonna have lunch, when I reach the supermarket. So then I go to the kitchen and have lunch. There's like 1 p.m. But the class is at 7 a.m. So we did that. Many other guys did that. And now we're talking about, oh, bro, I'm going to Las Vegas in August. Oh, bro, I compete in Spain yesterday. What the hell? We changed our reality. We're talking about different countries. I've been to Japan 6 times. So now when I go to my place where I grew up, things are much worse. All the guys, all the kids growing up over there, their reference are guys carrying guns, selling drugs. I won the world championship. I have the gold medal. I have to go back and I show them there's another way. You know, because I had 3 guys, that was my reference where I come from. They were carrying books, studying, and doing sports. 3 guys among 100 guys, they were doing bad things. Man, it was easier to follow those 100 guys' path. But those 3 guys, they stand out for me. Now, it's us for those kids that have nobody for them. I used to teach 60 kids back in Brazil, unprivileged kids, 60 kids. 30 in the morning, 30 in the afternoon. That was from 2010 to 2012 before I come to Malaysia. Bro, when I left Brazil to come to Malaysia, I had to end that class, right? 5 of those guys went to jail. Other guys became alcoholic. One girl took her life 3 months ago. She was so close to me as Cassandra is today. Bro, she just ended her life 3 months ago. And until now, I blame myself for that because when they were there with me, they were not doing wrong stuff because I was like a big father for them. Jiu-Jitsu, 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 train, compete. Because I knew where I came from, what Jiu-Jitsu did for me, and what Jiu-Jitsu can do for those kids. I still have the message of the mom asking me, help me. Mateus is in jail. So how can I help you? I cannot go to jail and say, oh, can you let him go? But in my understanding, right or wrong, nobody can take that away from me. That is my fault that he went to jail because it was, I think, 6 months or a year after I left, after we end the project, he couldn't find another place to go because I told them to go to different places. But then if they go for different places, they had to pay. They couldn't pay. They couldn't afford. So now they have nothing to go. They are not busy anymore like they were with me. Now they're free. So, of course, those bad guys, they catch them. I give you a better opportunity now. All you got to do is to check the police is coming. All you got to do is to take this drug and give to the guys down there. When I was there, he was not doing this. Then he was not smoking. Now they're smoking. Now they're drinking. What happened to my kids? And then 3 of them, 5 of them got a black belt. One of them is living in Germany. Okay, I was able to help maybe 5. But what about the others? As I told you, I had like 60 kids. Where are the others? You know, like, so when I was there, they were doing well. They were doing, because I was like, hey, how is school? How is this? How is that? They have to come because I'm teaching them for free. They have to present something, right? Now they had nobody because I left because I chose to take care of my life. So now I'm here in Malaysia doing good, and then the kids are getting their life screwed up back in Brazil. I blame myself until today. You know, like, you shouldn't do that. I don't care. It's what I believe. Nobody can tell me that it had nothing to do with for me ending that project. You know, right? So, and I don't know. And I saw that Jiu-Jitsu can help people, and then I will believe this for the rest of my life. You can say it's cliche. You can say it's cringe. You can say whatever. Oh, you black belts, they are not specialists in any other areas except the black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. That's true. But I have life lessons. I learned through life, bro. And nobody gave up on me. I'm not going to give up on people. Not again. Because I gave up on some kids and get what happened. Look what happened. So that's why I think I care so much about others. The problem that I take upon myself when things go wrong for them. You know, and then because I feel that I was not able to help. You know, I don't know. It's that I think that's quite sensitive for me because I grew up this way, you know, like, and I believe in people because I am where I am because someone believed in me before. That's what I have to do. So it's not, for me, it's not about like I see sometimes the guys talk about jiu-jitsu is a martial art, it's just fighting. For me, it was never just about fighting. It was about something else. I hate seeing people quitting without telling them that they can still do stuff. You know, like, because I wanted to quit one time. Like I think it was 2003, I brought my gi to the gym and I told my professor that I didn't want to train anymore. So I brought my gi and my belt, I was football belt. I want to give to someone else. And then he said, because he said, why do you want to quit? I said, because I think I will never be a world champion. And then he said, yeah, maybe you're never going to be a world champion. So what are you going to do? It's like, I don't know. I'm going to stop now. He said, but just because you cannot be a world champion doesn't mean that you cannot help someone to become a world champion. And I was like, oh, okay. He said, oh, just go home and take a break. And that's what I did. So I took a break. Next day I was already there. I didn't take any break, you know. Right? Next day I was there training again. So then I was like, okay, so yeah, if I'm not, and then I kept saying this to myself, maybe I will never be a world champion, but I will never know. So I have to keep training to find out. But maybe I can help someone to become a world champion. So I helped Cass. So Cassandra became world champion before I did. So in 2018, she won the World Masters under the UAE Federation. So she was my first world champion. So then that just resonated to what my professor told me in 2003, that maybe I will never be a world champion, but that doesn't mean that I couldn't help someone to become a world champion. And she won the world championship twice. And then later was Fauzin. And it's like, wow. And then Jin. So I got 3 world champions. So, and then I got the world championship later on. So now imagine if I quit back in 2003. You know, like, maybe there would be no Cass world champion. You know, like, maybe, yeah, I'm not saying that she became world champion because of me, but why do you, because I told her, like, I don't want you to compete in Malaysia anymore because you already won 20 times. So go to Abu Dhabi because I have a friend there. You can stay in the house. Go to the World Pro, go for the World Championship in Abu Dhabi. And she just like, you think I can do it? It's like, yes, you definitely can. She went and she will come back as a world champion, you know. So she trusts me. She trusted on me so much that now she's changing her life too. You know, like, she's changing her story and she's passing forward. She's changing the life of other people, other women that look up to her, that see how she's been doing stuff. And that's what defines my legacy. Because it keeps going on and you're never going to stop on her. Because of her, someone else won't quit. And bro, that's endless. Same with Fauzin. Same to whoever, same is going to happen to whoever decide to help someone else to do anything in life, you know. It's not jiu-jitsu alone, man. It's through jiu-jitsu, you know. Yeah, I told Cass that the day I promote her to black belt would be the day that I would be ready to go back. I used to tell her this, like, the day I promote her to black belt is the day that I'm ready to go. But I didn't know how things were gonna work, but I would feel that my job is done, you know, like, and I think I have like, I don't remember exactly the number of black belts that I have in Malaysia. So I'm so proud of all of those guys that I had the honor to tie the belt on their waist. So I understand that whatever I did here in Malaysia was something big that helped to build what they have today. And I'm honored and grateful for the platform that was given to me as well, the support from other people that was able to give me, that was able to, they allow me to do my job. And all these students that believed in me, you know, like that, because I didn't do it all by myself, I did because of them. Through sponsorship, helping me to compete, you know, like, through a lot of stuff, helping me with my family. So, and I see now that we have this gym, and the gym without me can still go. a leader shouldn't be scared of build someone bigger than him. I think that's how the way things supposed to be, you know. So I don't want you to be exactly where I am or how I am. You have to be better than I am. That's the way it should be done. If not, I'm gonna just be a gatekeeper that just gonna teach you how to grow until where I am, but you won't pass that. No, man, you have to be better. You definitely have to be better, and the next will be better than you. If you're not doing this, you're doing wrong. So I'm quite happy, sad and happy and sad at the same time for having to go back, but I'm happy that I did my good job and these people are good people. So yeah, I'm pretty proud. I'm very proud. So now when I go back to Brazil, I'm gonna take my medal, my World Championship medal, and then I'm gonna show to those kids, and I'll try to save one at least. Try to show them that I was just like them. All I had was the football feet that they have. I used to swim in the same pool that they swim, in the waterfall nearby. But I was able to travel to like over 16 countries. I speak another language. My son gonna have a different life. All thanks to Jiu-Jitsu. There's no questions asked. It was all through Jiu-Jitsu. So I saw this movie where this soldier used to ask before during the World War II, he used to pray, God, help me to save one more. And this is what I feel, you know, like when I go back, I just want to save one more kid. You know, one kid. If one kid can see that medal, if one kid can touch that medal, can see that medal, and he said, I can do this. What if I win one medal? Bruno came from here and he did it. That means that I can do. He lived the way we live nowadays, and he still did it. It's not about money, you know. You knowing that you did the right thing, right or wrong. You know what's right or wrong. You know, you choose to do the right thing, and then in the end, if it worked, it's okay. If it didn't work, you tried, and then until the man up there says time, you have to keep fighting, man. You have to keep fighting. Keep trying. Until the referee say parou. He didn't say parou, bro. Keep fighting, man. Keep fighting.
Yeah. O sol nasceu, novo dia chegando. Estamos cantando. Vamos com fé, correndo atrás, sem medo, sempre sonhando. Segue pra frente, bora com garra, assim vamos buscando. Cada momento de pé é uma chance de seguir lutando. Eu não posso parar. Meu plano é chegar. No meu destino eu acredito que eu vou conquistar. Não posso duvidar. Se é a hora, vamos fazer história. Nessa vida somos vencedores. Okay. Somos vencedores.